Maybe I can play a railings game. Mom, problem! It happened again.
Oh, Bingo, I told you, don't put your legs in the railings.
Sorry, Mama.
G'day, you cheeky dogs. Today we're going to be going through the 36 episodes that the Bluey The Sign 28-minute special referenced throughout those 28 minutes. G'day, cheeky dogs. My name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. I'm going to break it down through each season. So we're going to go through all the season 1 references, the season 2 references, the season 3 references, and then even the season 3 finale surprise, as well as some special mentions. But before we start, of course, if you love Bluey as much as I do, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that subscribe button, and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey videos.
This episode of Bluey is called The Sign.
So let's start off then with the season 1 episodes, and we had 5 episodes in total that were referenced in The Sign. So in the episode Fruit Bat, we had 2 callbacks to it. The first one being the game where Bandit falls asleep mid-storytelling. This is replicated again in The Sign in the opening scene where Bandit falls asleep mid-game with Bingo on the swing. And the second callback is in The Sign at the very end credit scenes. You can see in the background that there's all fruit bats flying everywhere behind the credits. The next callback is in the episode Yoga Ball, where Bluey and Bingo, of course, are running through a never-ending hallway away from the yoga ball. And in The Sign, we see them doing this again as they realize that they are no longer selling the house. The third episode is Granny's, where we meet Bob, aka Bobba, for the first time, and this is where Nana and Bob learn to floss. This is replicated again in the dance scene at the wedding, where we see both Nana and Bob flossing again.
Look at this, Bingo!
The fourth episode is Backpackers, where we first see poor Jeremy the gnome getting knocked down and cracked. We even hear Bingo saying, "Jeremy, no!
Jeremy, no!
In the episode The Sign, Socks is the one who gives the call back to poor Jeremy after Frisky knocks him over in her anger.
Poor Jeremy.
The fifth episode is The Sleepover, where we see Muffin screaming while she's trying to shake the pot plants, when she's trying to shake Bandit's chippy shop, and when she's shaking the flamingo. We see her doing this same thing again in the Mount Cootha scene in The Sign, where she screams whilst trying to get the coin out by shaking the binoculars. And even the scream that she uses here is the exact same scream from The Sleepover, however, it's when she's screaming on the table. In season 2, we have 13 episodes that are referenced. The first one is Dance Mode, and this is where we see the busker who does become the DJ and wedding officiant in The Sign. In the episode Dance Mode, he's the one who yells out who likes to dance, and we see him doing this exact same thing again when everyone is running to the dance floor.
Who likes to dance? Who likes to dance?
The second episode is Hammer Barn, and in the episode The Sign, we see Bandit when he's driving the girls home from school. They go past the Hammer Barn store in the background. The third episode is Squash. We see in the Mount Cootha scene that Muffin is controlling Bluey's movements by holding her ears, and this is just the same as when Bluey and Bingo did this with Bandit and Stripe in the episode Squash. The fourth episode is Favorite Thing. At the very start of the wedding scenes in The Sign, we see everyone is gathered in the front yard, and if you have a look at Bingo and Mort, you can see that Bingo is playing a game with him. This game is the Thank You for Cleaning My Toilet, which is the same game we see her play in the episode Favorite Thing.
Take it out. Now close the lid. Thank you for cleaning my toilet. What?
The fifth episode that's referenced is Daddy Drop Off. At the end of The Sign, when we see Bingo asking Chili if Leela is coming with them, and she realizes that the house is actually for sale and they're not going to live in it, those of us who are avid Bluey watchers will remember that this is actually maybe not the case, because of course at the end of Daddy Drop Off, we see that Leela and Bingo grow up together and go to multiple schools together, which then of course indicates that they were never going to leave the Healer house.
We're moving to another city.
Is Layla coming with us?
Well, no.
What?
The sixth episode is Mum's School. In the episode The Sign, when Bluey is telling Bingo the story of the farmer, we see a green balloon with the letter G still attached to it floating through the skies. This references Greenie, the balloon, all the way back in the episode Mum's School, even with the letter green that Bluey attached to her when she flew away at the end. The seventh episode is Army. Now, in the episode The Sign, right after Calypso finishes the story, Rusty calls to everyone saying, "Let's play Army," which of course is a callback to his favorite game which he played with Jack in the episode Army.
What are you playing?
I'm playing Army.
Why didn't you want to join the army?
Let's play Army.
Yeah!
The eighth episode is Helicopter. Now, in The Sign, at the very end, we see the scene with Winton's dad selling his house with a pool, and this is a callback to the episode Helicopter when we first learn that Winton's parents are divorced and that his dad has a pool.
Fly over my dad's house! He has a pool!
The 9th episode is Library. Now, in the episode The Sign, all the parents are humming and singing the Cat Squad theme as they help set up for the wedding.
Cat Squad!
And this, of course, is a nod to the episode Library when we were first introduced to Cat Squad and the theme song that is also now in the Dance Mode album. The 10th episode is Swim School. Now, in The Sign, we see Uncle Rad calling Chili on the phone, and his picture is of him wearing a watermelon on his head alongside Bandit and Stripe. This could be where Bingo even got her saying from in the episode Swim School when she calls Margaret a silly old watermelon head.
She's a silly old watermelon head.
The 11th episode is Double Babysitter. Now, obviously, The Sign has a lot of call-outs to the episode Double Babysitter, such as Bluey and Frisky's stories paralleling in both episodes, but also the idea of hammer space for the pockets. So in the episode Double Babysitter, Rad's keys are pulled out of nowhere, just like in the episode Sign when Bluey's coin and everyone's phones are pulled out of nowhere. The best callback though, however, is definitely where the wedding is being held, because the wedding of course is at the Healer house, and that is where Rad and Frisky first fell in love and said that they would get married.
Okay, fine. For the sake of the children, they get married. The end.
Hooray!
I'll take it.
The 12th episode is Road Trip. In this episode, Chili tells Bluey and Bingo about the hand jumping game to help them not get bored in the car, and in the episode The Sign, we see Bingo playing this exact same game again when they are driving past the Brisbane city. The 13th episode is Baby Race. Now we have two references to this. The first one in the episode The Sign is when Chili talks about how Bluey had her first steps when she's at Mount Cootha with Frisky and Bluey.
You took your first steps in that house.
And the second one, of course, is when she's standing in the kitchen as they're about to leave the house forever, and she is standing in the exact same location, looking down at where Bluey took her first steps that we saw in the end of Baby Race. Editing Margie here, I was wrong. There are 14 episodes in season 2, with Bingo being, of course, the most obvious reference with her with the railings and getting stuck in them.
Bingo, I told you, don't put your legs in the railings.
Sorry, Mama. I'm stuck in the railing.
Season 3 has the most callbacks though out of all the seasons.
My dad doesn't live with my mum and now he's lonely all the time.
Aww. How Mum likes your dad.
The first episode is perfect. Now, during this episode in the boomerang scene, if you look in the background, you can see Winton's dad lonely underneath the tree. And this, of course, gets mentioned again in The Sign when Winton references the fact that his dad is so lonely. The second episode is Bedroom. Now, in the episode The Sign, Bingo is the one who asks Bob where he has been this whole time, referencing how she didn't know where he was from the episode Bedroom.
Good night, Grandpa Bob, wherever you are.
The third episode is Rain. In The Sign, when Chili opens the boot of the car to get the spare seat out of it, we can see the same umbrella there that her and Bluey used in the episode Rain. Fourth episode is Facey Talk, and just like in Facey Talk where we saw Trixie and Stripe fighting a lot, we see that happen again in the episode Sign where they are fighting multiple times. And this has even created a whole Bluey theory about whether or not they are getting a divorce. I have done a whole video about this already. If you want to check it out, I'll leave like a link up here as well as in the description box down below if you'd like to see that after this video. The fifth episode they reference is Ragdoll. Now, Wendy tells the girls that it is important to maintain a strong core, and we see a close-up shot of her leg strength as she's trying to lift Bandit into the car, and Bandit admiring this leg strength as well. We then see sort of a callback to this when Bandit is using his leg strength and his core to lift the sign out of the ground when he realizes that they are no longer going to be selling the house.
Look at those quads.
Promise me you'll work hard to maintain a strong core, girls.
Bandit, I've got one of those exercise thingies if you want.
The sixth episode is Fairy Tale, where we learn that Bandit hates crumbed fish. But in the final scene, we see the whole family sitting down to eat fish and chips, and it looks identical to the ones they had in Fairy Tale, which probably indicates that Bandit either no longer hates crumbed fish, or he's just so happy that he's with his family that he doesn't care anymore.
What about you? Come on, speak up.
He wants crumbed.
Okay.
He loves crumb. Don't you, Ban Dishwasher? Ha!
Ugh, I hated crumbed.
The seventh episode is Musical Statues. We have quite a few callbacks to different dance moves that we saw in Musical Statues. The first one is Frisky, when she's doing a shuffle dance, just like what Bandit did in the episode Musical Statues. And then also at the end when we see Chili, Frisky, and Bluey all doing the hands down dance in The Sign. It's the same one that Chili also did in Musical Statues.
Yeah, go Bluey!
Eighth episode is Onesies. Now, Onesies is of course when we learn that Brandy's biggest wish is to have children, and we see a swallow passing over her. And in the episode The Sign, of course, not only do we see Brandy get her happy ending as she is pregnant, but we also see that same bird again just before we see Greenie when we're panning over from Bluey to Mount Cootha. The 9th episode is Tradies, and speaking of the Mount Cootha scene in The Sign, that is where we see Chippy and Cherry in the background still together after we met them for the very first time in the episode Tradies. The 11th episode is The Decider. In The Sign at the very end, when you see Bandit and Pat chatting in their backyard, we can see the maroon jerseys from the episode The Decider hanging up on Pat's washing line. The 12th episode is Cubby. When Bingo is asleep in the episode The Sign with her mountains of toys on her, we can see Kim Jim for the second time, with the first time of course being the episode Cubby when he was introduced. The 13th episode is Stickbird. As Bandit is leaving the house in The Sign and looking through the doorway, this mimics exactly how he looked in the episode Stickbird at the very end. And some fans have speculated now that this is the reason why he might have been so sad in Stickbird, because he was unsure about taking a new job and selling the house. The 14th episode is Dragon. Now in Dragon we see a flashback scene where we meet Bandit's childhood rival Bucky Dunstan, who made fun of him for drawing cars, and Bandit even makes a joke about how he thinks he's a real estate agent now.
Bucky Dunstan. He was in my class. I think he's a real estate agent now.
Flash forward to the present day, and it looks like Bandit has hired Bucky to help sell his house. And Bucky even has his own hilarious number plate being I Sell For You, and he seems just as annoying as he did in the episode Dragon. The 15th episode is TV Shop, where the terriers tell Winton that their mum likes his dad.
Our mum likes your dad.
This of course is a call out to the episode TV Shop when we first see Winton's dad and the terrier's mum flirting in the background. The 16th episode is Slide, and this is the biggest call out of the whole series, because Slide was all about everything being lucky or unlucky, and how Leela and Bingo's actions helped the caterpillars survive into becoming a butterfly. This same butterfly, of course, is what starts the butterfly effect in the episode The Sign, and leads to the ending with the healers not selling their house. And again, all throughout the episode, they reference the idea of good luck and bad luck, just like in the episode Slide. 17th episode is Ghost Basket. Now, Ghost Basket obviously set up the whole idea of the healer house being for sale, with the for sale sign at the very end. However, it did also foreshadow Grandpa Bob being in India, with when you look on the fridge, there are postcards and magnets from India. The 18th episode is Surprise, and even though this came after the episode The Sign, it was initially meant to go before it. It has a joke in it in the flash forward scene about Bandit selling the house.
The house is looking good.
Thanks. Can you believe Dad almost sold it?
Are you ever gonna let that go?
And according to an article in the Courier Mail by Joe Brum, they did actually end up deciding to put this after the episode The Sign because they didn't want to give away the plot. Now, of course, I did mention there was going to be some special mentions, and that is, of course, to the original Bluey album. Now, the cover for this was Bluey wearing her red earphones, and of course, we finally see this scene in the episode The Sign, where Bluey is listening to the headphones during that montage. So, Cheeky Dogs, out of those 36 episodes, which was your favorite reference in the episode The Sign? I have, of course, already done a bunch of Easter egg specific videos for The Sign with all the Australian references, and one with just like our ongoing Easter eggs like the long dog as well. So if you want to see those, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that subscribe button, and that bell for notifications. I have playlists in the description box down below as well. But until my next video, I have picked you Cheeky Dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!